and it flies from the heavens to come crashing down. Boom! Ladies and gentlemen, it is I, Mazer, and today we have a new unboxing. Yes, a while ago, about a month or two ago, I had the unfortunate experience to have my laser etcher die. The motor ended up, I really don't know what to say. It just jammed up and I couldn't get it back working. It just would stop and then wouldn't move anymore. The laser still works, but the motor mechanism has finally died on me, which is fine because I got lots of use out of it and it was time for a good upgrade, which is why I picked up this from the Wish app. Yes, this is a new laser from the Wish app, an upgraded laser. It has a wider bed so I can make bigger objects, and it is a 2000, I guess, milliwatts. I'm still not sure about the laser sizes and everything, but it is about 2000, where my last one was 1500, so we should be able to get a great result, including a kitty who decided to join us. Real fast, let's take a look on how much this ended up costing. Now, the Wish app is offering interesting little discounts where they, well, not discounts, I'm sorry, they're offering new shipping options, which really surprised me. The shipping options allow you to get products much faster than the month or 2 months that you'd normally have to wait for. So that is really cool. I'm pulling up the information on my little laser right here. Here we go. It was $97, not including the about $12, $13 for the expedited shipping. I ended up getting this in less than a week, so awesome for that. Without further ado, though, let's open the box. So as you can see here, here's a picture of what it looks like. Blank here, blank there, a blank everywhere. And if we look at the very tippy top of this, we're going to see some Japanese characters, a wattage, and more Japanese, I'm sorry, I think these are Chinese characters, but that's okay. Oh yeah, made in China, so there you go. Now we're going to open this up, and here you go. Come here, little dude. Get down. Alright, so we're inside the box. And the first thing we have is a user manual, which we'll get to after we take a look inside of the box. So it is very well packaged. There we go. Alright. I'm going to set that aside for the cat to play with, as he always does. Okay, so here is the box. Here's the product itself. As you can see, we have ourselves the laser here. We have a power cord, the USB connector to the computer. It looks like there might be some assembly required. We got a screw with a screwdriver and some bolts. Okay. Ooh, look at that. Now, you're wondering, hey, wait a second, Mazer, you live in America. This is not an American AC adapter, and you, sir, would be correct. Luckily, if I can reach it, which I can, it came with an adapter. Yay! So we just slide the adapter in here. Let's see, how does this work? I've never used an adapter before. There we go, and now it's Americanized. Huzzah! Huzzah! Let's see here. It comes with some material for us to test the laser on. We got a strong piece of, 2 pieces of cardboard right here, and we got the usual wood. What is this? Laser focus. Okay, before carving, place the card on the item, then rotate the laser head to focus. So basically, we use this to see the laser itself get to the smallest level. And here is another piece of wood, which we get to use to test out. Then we get ourselves a nice little USB stick, which has the program on it, I'm assuming. Bump the camera, why don't you? We have some, ooh, what is this? This looks like some kind of acrylic. That's really nifty, don't you think? Interesting, interesting. Can we really carve into acrylic? Or plastic, or whatever this is. Alright, well, let's look at the laser itself. Alright, we'll set that down there, and the cat will mess with that again. So here, ladies and gentlemen, is the laser itself. Ooh la la. All right, this is really nice. This is really nice. So you have a much wider carving area. The diode is right there, and you twist it to focus the laser. Unlike our previous laser, this looks like it actually has a fan attached. Look, see, we have a nice little fan right here. And let's see here. We just very gently got to remove styrofoam. Very well packed. That's very nice to see. Alright, we'll take this piece out right here. And then finally the piece up here. Okay, good, good, good. Alright, so there you go. Now it has a much bigger carving area. My original laser had a 1.5 inch square that it could burn material in, which is actually quite limited, which, you know, I worked around it. Styrofoam's on me. I worked around it where I would burn these little wooden medallions I got from Michael's. Same material as this, and it worked beautifully for that, and I was able to get, you know, a lot of fun out of that machine. But this is going to give me a bigger carving area. I'm super excited about that. So we're going to set the laser back here. I'm going to take these items and set it with the laser. Now let's look at the user manual. Okay, product size is all that. We got size after packing, weight. Shell material is abs. Oh, that's the same stuff I use in my 3D printer. Let's see, accessories, a U-disc, engraving material, laser guard, board, data line, screw, and instructions. Just one screw, that's a lie, there's multiple screws. There's instructions, the laser, let's see here, the laser shield, Jesus, that's not how you spell shield at all. Shield can block some of the laser light and protect the eyes. The screw guard. Oh, that's what those are. Oh, okay. Okay, that's what that is. This is actually a laser guard. Alright, you see, when I saw the picture online, it had green on it. And when I took it out of the box, I was like, there's no green, but that's exactly what this is. I bet you I could find a way to peel this off. It's supposed to be a laser guard. Silly mazer, I thought it could burn acrylic. Alright, and then we have, let's see here, the program, how to take it off the USB stick, how to enter text, how to adjust the laser right here, you just twist it like I said. Observe if the picture is placed properly, use the keys to adjust the position or just drag the photo around. Okay, so it looks like this is your work area, and then this will be, yeah, very simple. How to enter pictures, how to edit photos. This is the one that looks interesting. There are three kinds of effects: black and white, discrete model, and gray model. A colored picture under the three models looked like below. So this is a black and white where it just does the outline. So here's the colored version, black and white version. Discrete is more of a, what's that word? It's basically a bunch of little dots to create the detail. Yeah, that. And then this is the gray pattern, which I'm guessing does different heats around the photo to give ourselves shading. Oh god, that's true. I'm really excited. And right here under every model is a slider which can adjust the light degree. Oh, there we go. So this makes it, that's fascinating. And then it says sometimes the engraving machine will stop working due to electricity cutoff or personal causes. You should reconnect the machine, click back to starting, and get back and adjust the original point, otherwise software position may be dislocated. Okay, let's see here. Engraving machine has limited ability for editing photos. I'm not surprised about that whatsoever. Laserhead has a life limit. Please don't use it over time in case it might get too hot. It is suggested to control engraving times under half an hour. That's very important actually, because that's what happened to my first laser. I would do these really dark images, and it actually burned out my first laser. Having that engraving time, though, is a very good base point. I might be able to pause it if I do bigger things. That's interesting. All right, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to take this, we're going to go in the other room where I do all my projects, hook it up to the computer, get the system running, and we are going to get a test print done, and hopefully this turns out really well. So 1 second, please. Hello everybody. So what I did was I plugged in the USB drive to my computer and I took all the files off and threw it onto my folder right here. As you can see, we got 3 folders here. This is the folder for my original laser. So this is the new ones right here. We have photos that were included for samples. We have all the program files here, and we have a demonstration video, and we'll just pull that up real fast so you guys can see this. So it's a very simple demonstration video. It shows you how to install the laser guard. Then it tells you how to plug everything in and how the drivers work and all that jazz. At the very end right here, you can see the laser in action going doot, 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 and followed by the end result. Okay. The picture folder, like I said, is just a bunch of examples that you guys could use to try and test out your laser. You have all sorts of cool little designs, such as one piece right here. We got Transformers, we got the Doge, Coca-Cola, just a bunch of product labels and random assortment memes and crap like that, just thrown in here for you could test. I think this is that show, Case Closed. I used to watch that. That was a lot of fun. And then right here we have the software and the driver. So when you double click on the driver, it pops up like this. And there's only one file. You just click on it. You hit install. It takes maybe a minute and a half. And once that's done, you have the software itself. You have 2 in different languages. I'm not real sure what these are, but then you have the actual program itself, which is here, right here. Here you go. Nice, easy, clean interface. So we're back here. This is our main hub, if you will. And everything is very self-explanatory, and it's also gives you a lot more control than my previous laser allowed. So what we're going to do is take an image. I got some images right here. And we'll throw a picture of me as Paper Mario. All right, so we have all these little options right here. We have a mirror left and right, a mirror up and down. We have rotates, inversion. This turns on the fan to get rid of the smoke and keep the laser cool. This discards it. This adds texts. This centers the image and the laser. This switches it from millimeters to inches. And this actually lets you save the photo, which is really cool. This part right here lets you disconnect and connect the laser itself. Here's where you input your text after you choose your font. This is start, pausing, and stop. The pause is actually really good. I've used it a few times already. It stops it immediately and just remembers exactly where you left off, as it should. My last laser, sometimes pausing was not the best thing because the laser could... it would finish a line and stop halfway, but then forget where it was. This one does not forget where it was. Down here we have the engraving models. So we have black and white, which automatically converts my image into black and white, which is really cool. Discrete engraving. This is more of like a dithering effect. As you can see, it's very polka dotty. Actually, let's make this a little bigger. Let's triple the size. There you go. So you can see it gives me more dithering and everything. And this is a grayscale. We'll triple it again. And you can see it gives me a bigger gradient overall. Over here we have our contrast, which we can tell the laser what we want darker, what we want lighter. And then we have the laser power adjustment. This is the percentage of the laser's actual power. Very self-explanatory. But this one right here, this is the thing that runs the show. This tells the laser how long it's going to stay on a line. The lower the number, the quicker the laser goes, and the higher the number, the slower it goes. And when the slower it goes, that gives you a deeper etch. All right. I discovered that through experimenting, 10 is actually more than enough for what I use my laser for, but going straight up to 100 gives me a very strong depth. Now, this is another cool feature. This is called frame positioning. All right. what it does is it looks for anything that's etchable and then ignores all the white. So let's take a look. All right, so right now the laser is following this red line. The laser is actually moving behind me right now. I don't know if you can hear the motor, but the laser is moving and it's showing me the outline of the product. So when I take my wood or whatever I want to etch, I could see exactly where it's going to show up by seeing the laser move. And as you can see, it completely ignores any white border and focuses exactly where the photo is. All right. Back at the starting point, we'll actually make the picture go up here. Where is the starting point? Let's take a look. There you go. You could probably hear that in the background. For some reason, the laser is quite loud when it moves back into position. And then over here, we could centerize the image. And right here, every time I click this, it's actually moving the laser. Easy peasy. And this is my favorite feature. Now, my original laser had a very watered down software. All I could do with that software is adjust the burn time and shrink an image. That is it. This gives me full control of the size of my picture. If I want it at 10 millimeters, there you go. If I want it at 50 millimeters, there it goes. All right. I have full control of what my image looks like. And as you can see, I could shrink it really small. And if I bring it back up, there's no corruption with the image. It doesn't get pixelated or anything. It stays just as sharp as always. All right. So once you get everything in line and double check your positioning with the laser itself, you just hit start and the laser goes to town. It's very straightforward, but it gives you so much control over what you're etching. And for that, I'm thankful. And this laser, by the way, this program, actually runs super smooth. It installed immediately. It connects right away. It activates the fan right away. I have not had any trouble during any of my testings when it comes to the actual program itself. So for that, I am super thankful. And there you have it. It's a simple program, very easy, very comprehensive, and I love the amount of control this program gives you over your laser. Now, what I'm going to do is shut the program down and show you some of the products that I just etched. Some examples. I experimented with the depth adjustment of the engraving. I experimented with black and white versus grayscale, and I think you guys will be very happy with the results. All right, be right back. All right, and we are done with our test runs. The first thing we wanted to do was try out the wood that came with the laser etcher. Now, I did this at a 50% depth adjustments, which we'll just call 50% power from now on to make it easy. And it surprised me. Now on my old laser I would use between 30 to 50 depending on the image for better quality. And on this, the 50 actually went into the wood. Like you see that right there. And for me, that's unheard of with these my desktop laser. My first one couldn't do this. It could just burn the surface. So this is really impressive. Now, unfortunately, as it got further down, the detail started to not appear as well. Now, that is not due to the laser. That's due to the quality of this wood. Actually, if you watch the demonstration video about this laser, they use the same wood, and the image they use also comes up a little blurry, a little, scratched out a little bit, as if the laser couldn't hit all the creases in the wood. So what I did was I got one of the wooden medallions I use for my personal projects, because I know how that material is supposed to look. And we tried several different experiments with it. So I'm going to pull that out right here. And here we go. Alright, so as you can see here, I wanted to test the full strength of the laser versus like 5%, which is close to the minimum I want to go for. At full strength, it took 7 minutes to make this little L right here. And I don't know how easy it is to see, but that is a deep burn. See right there? That is a very deep burn, which is wonderful. Let's see, there we go, got it right there. Yeah, you can see the depth in that. That's great. I'm super impressed that this little laser can give me a nice deep burn like that. And even at 5%, which took only 37 seconds, as you can see here, that's clean. Look at that. That turned out perfectly. So then I wanted to test out the grayscale. Now the grayscale, like we said, is supposedly gives us more detail with colored images, and so I did it right here. So the first one we did was at 50% at 17 minutes, and I got a little bit of an etch. I could feel it, but you could see that little image of me. That's Paper Mario me, by the way. I made that ages ago. That's very burned. The details are gone. But this little guy at 20%, look at him. He's beautiful. Great coloration, great gradients, and all that jazz. It'll probably look even better if I lowered it to 15 or so, but this is good enough for the experiment. That's wonderful. Look how clean that is. And I know a lot of people in my previous videos have asked me to try other material with my laser etchers. Unfortunately, I don't have a dark colored dice to test burning plastic with. Somebody asked me about that, and some comments I got were because I used a white dye, it wouldn't burn as well because it doesn't burn white very well. But what I did try was I pulled out my old wallet and I gave it a shot. Now right here, you could see barely, yeah, right here, that was about 30%. I wanted to do the Mortal Kombat logo, but I decided for this experiment, it would just take too long, and you could just see the results right there. So that's 30%. Down here, though, that's the full 100%. A nice little L, just like the other one, and that's definitely burned in there. Isn't that wonderful? Look how sharp that turned out. So it does burn on leather. It doesn't really show up to the naked eye that easily, and I'm guessing it's just because this is, this is cheap leather. And, oh, I don't know what the real excuse would be, but the fact is it will burn onto leather, and it's very noticeable, especially under the right light. Look at that. That's really cool. So really, there you have it. I'm very impressed. It took a lot of tweaking. I had to go through a few pieces of wood to make sure I understood every setting properly. But in the end, as you can see right here, it worked out wonderfully, and I cannot wait to get back to work on making my little wooden medallions. Oh, I love the deep etch. I'm going to come up with ideas for this. Now, I do want to mention some pros and cons. Pro, that green plastic plate on the front makes focusing the laser wonderful. My old laser required me to wear these like UV tinted sunglass type of things so I could see the laser, make sure it's at the tiniest point possible. I don't need to do that here. I just look through that green plastic on the front and I can see the laser flawlessly. Unfortunately, that also means that I have a hard time seeing everything etched. I have to look in at an angle. Like for this one, I had no idea it was actually etching until the very end when I took it out because I couldn't get a good visual angle. Secondly, there's no platform under the laser. It's sitting right on my table. I want to put some wood under it to prevent it from accidentally burning my table, God forbid, if something moves during the laser etching process. The original laser I was using had a plastic rack, basically a little platform that you put your object on, and the platform moves back and forth, and the laser, goes side to side. This one, all the laser is all on the top, and the laser will move up, down, left, right, in every angle. So the laser moving is a lot better, but there's no safety platform. And that also means you have to be very precise of where you're going to put your product down. You have to make sure it's in the right spot. But that's very simple because there's a like I mentioned when I was showing off the program itself, there's a frame adjustment. It frames out where the image is. So then you let that run, and then you take the item and you move it around until it's in the right spot, and it's pretty cool. Overall, though, the ease of use, fantastic. The program lets you connect and disconnect the machine, which I really enjoy. The program itself booted up really quickly, has no problems whatsoever. It has a much more powerful program in the sense of controlling a lot more of what the laser does compared to the original laser I was working on. One example is, as I mentioned again, the fact that you could resize your images by typing in the number. In my old laser, you just hit shrink, shrink, shrink. That's it. No enlargements or nothing. This, you type it in, and it'll get bigger, smaller, then you can move it around, resize it. Wonderful. I love it. And the fact you have the black and white option, the grayscale, and dithering. That was the word I couldn't remember in the first part of this video. Dithering, where it does lots of little dots. So the program is hands over fists superior than my old laser etcher. And considering this was only $20 more expensive, not including the $15 shipping and handling to get a week delivery, I think it turned out wonderfully. I'm super, super impressed with this. And this 2000 milliwatt does, look at that. That is so clean. I'm so happy with how that turned out. I mean, I think I want to stick to like 10% just so my images are a little darker, but that's all I need. You know, I guess the other big downside was the warning the instruction manual gave me about trying not to run it for 30 minutes or more at a time. As you all know, my first laser died within a few months of purchasing the product, which made me upgrade to a 1500. And the 1500 still works to this day. I mean, that's no problem. The motor died, like I said. But I'm just cautious. I'm just worried. I don't want my laser to die out. So what I do is I monitor the time. It gives a little time at the end of each burn and tells you how long it's been running. So when it hits about 15 minutes, like during this one, I pause it. I just hit the pause button. It stops everything. It remembers where it left off. I hit pause, and I just let it cool down for a good 10 minutes or so, and then I let it finish up. Nothing big. You know, and then of course I let it cool down in between burns. But overall, I'm very, very happy. I want to test other material down the line. I'm going to get some plastic, some acrylic, maybe some metal like a dog tag or something. And then I want to go back to like the old tests I did with my first laser etcher, which is testing painted products, testing plastics, even vinyl, to see if we could cut interesting vinyl designs. So that will all come down later down the line. So there you have my review. I'm very happy with this. And I just can't get over how nice the little 20% me looks. Aw, there's me, my Paper Mario goodness. Got my glasses and my goatee and my Goomba hat that you guys see me when I show my face. It's so nice. Anyways, so there you have it. I'll put a link to the product in the description. This is not a sponsored video. It's just my personal thoughts. If you like this, please like, share, subscribe, all that good McGubbins, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.